Hey boys and girls, this is going to be a short video on how to make wheels for your vehicle. So these are the things that you need to make wheels for your car. You need 4 wheels, 2 skewers, which is going to act as your axles, a straw, which is a straw that's adjustable, that will act as your bushings, and a gear. Okay, so let's get started. The front and the back wheels are similar. The only difference is the back wheel is going to include this gear here, and the front wheels are much easier. So let's start with the front wheels. So you're going to start with a skewer. We need to make sure that it's long enough to cover the width of your chassis. So say this is going to be my chassis. You need about 1 centimeter on each side for the wheels and that kind of stuff. This is plenty long. So I'm looking about 1 centimeter here, so about a finger width on this side for the wheels, a finger width on this side. Basically, you're just going to cut off the tip. So make sure you have your safety goggles on, you're pointing this down. Cut that tip off. There we go. You'll also need a hot glue gun for this, so if you have your level 2 safety training, you're good to go. If not, you can have a friend do this or a teacher. Put a tab of hot glue here and stick your skewer in there. Try to make sure that that wheel is going on very perpendicular and level, so your wheels aren't wobbling like this when they're going. Give that a second to dry, and we always want to get all of the excess glue off, so peel any excess glue off so the straw doesn't get stuck on that, or your bushing. We call this the bushing in an actual vehicle. Now, you're going to use both parts of this straw, but the adjustable piece right here we're going to use for the back wheels. Okay, so that's important. This is going to be for the back wheels. So the front wheels, go ahead and stick it on there. If you can have a straw you could see through, you can give it a mark so you know where to cut your straw. Again, you need that centimeter about for the wheel, so come about 1 centimeter from where the skewer ends right there. So I'm going to go about 1 centimeter over, and I'm going to cut it right there. Okay, set that aside for later. Put this on. You should have, like I said, you should have a good centimeter. You do, no problem. Now you're just going to take your second wheel, put some glue in it, just a tiny dot. Now hold this straw up with your finger. So hold it like this. See how I'm doing my finger and I'm holding it? You don't want that straw to drop in the glue, but you do want to move fast because hot glue dries pretty quick. Try to make sure it's level. Keep that straw away until it dries completely. Get off the extra glue. There we go. So it doesn't get hung up. And your wheels should be, your axle should be moving freely inside that bushing. Okay? So I should be able to hold the straw, spin these wheels, and no problem, they're gonna spin. Okay? Could give it a test. If it goes pretty straight, you know you got it on there straight. If you're having any problem, like I think that one was kind of hooking because I didn't get all that glue out of there. It's kind of getting stuck on it. So that's really important. All right, so now to the back wheels. Back wheels are basically the same, except you're going to add this gear in. And this is really important because if you have wiggle room in your back wheels, and what I mean by that is if your wheels are going back and forth like this, that's going to hurt the engagement of the gear with the gear on the motor. So this is probably the trickiest part to the whole build that we're doing is the back wheels and axles. So we're going to start off with our skewer. Again, you're going to just cut off the very tip if you're using a short skewer. Put a dollop of glue right there over that hole. Oops, on the gear first. Sorry, I almost messed that up. Gear first. Kind of push that in there enough that you could put in the wheel next. So I had to do that quick because I already put glue on there. So make sure once you put glue in here, you got to move fast because if you don't, then that glue gets stuck in there and you might as well throw that in the trash or you throw it in a pot of boiling water to get it out. Anyway. This is what it should look like. So you have your gear and your wheel. We're going to let that glue dry and we're going to peel off any excess. Super important. Make sure it's nice and smooth around there where that bushing is going to be. Okay, now we're going to take our bushing and put that on there. We've got lots of space over here, which is fine. You can always double check with your your bushing. I'm sorry, your chassis. Yeah, so that looks good. I'm just gonna go ahead and put my wheel on there. I might have to adjust this out a little bit because I want this to make sure it's not going back and forth. So I need that to at least be the size of my chassis. So I'm going to stretch that out to there. And I might even cut just a tad of this off. Okay, I'm going to squeeze that back a little bit. All right, so now we're ready for our second wheel. Just a touch of glue. Hold that straw up and then put that in there. Okay, so we got a little bit of room. We don't want that wiggle room, but that's why I have the adjustment. Once this dries, I'm going to pull that out, and so we're not going to have any wiggle room at all. That's why I like this piece on the back wheel. Wiggle room is bad because it will make it so your car won't engage their gears. So if you have this going like this as it's rolling down and you're trying to keep that interlocked with a small gear, that's when we go have some problems. So it's turning freely, but it does have that little wiggle. We don't want that wiggle, so I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out where it's still turning freely, but no wiggle. So make sure, I might need to come back just a touch, so it's still turning freely. There we go. Perfect. But no wiggle. That's it. All right, hopefully that helps. When you get the wheels done, you are going to take, oh, this chassis is not working. It's not the one I had, I don't think. There we go. That's a little bit too tight. So like for this, I would have to trim down this chassis because you don't want your gears or your wheels rubbing on the chassis at all. So right for what I've got my wheels right now, I think I'm gonna have to trim down my my chassis just a little bit. So make sure that that doesn't happen before you put this down. And when you're got it, you're just gonna put some tape over and just secure it with tape until we get the whole thing built. And then once we get it working right, we can maybe secure that down with glue at the very end. Hopefully that was helpful, guys, and good luck on your wheels.